Men are drawn to women who lead with confidence, emotional strength, and self-worth. She's playful yet deep, warm yet self-possessed, loving but never chasing. She knows her value, lives with purpose, and sets clear boundaries. She chooses love, but never at the cost of herself. That's the woman he can't forget. There's something incredibly magnetic about a woman who doesn't need anyone to complete her. Not because she's closed off or emotionally unavailable, but because she's built a life that already brings her joy, purpose, and peace. She walks into a room not looking for validation, but carrying her own light. That kind of presence doesn't scream for attention, it commands it. When a woman is emotionally independent, she's not waiting for someone to fix her, save her, or constantly reassure her of her worth. She already knows it, and that's what makes her so compelling to a man who is looking for more than just chemistry. He's looking for connection, depth, and someone who can walk beside him, not behind him. What does emotional independence really look like? It's the ability to hold space for your own emotions without needing someone else to regulate them for you. It's being able to say, I'd love to share this part of my life with you, but I'm not relying on you to give it meaning. It's choosing a relationship because it adds value, not because you're afraid of being alone. Men are instinctively drawn to that energy, not because they want someone tough or cold, but because they want someone who chooses them freely, not from a place of fear, but from a place of strength. The irony is, when you don't need someone to make you feel complete, that's when people want to be around you the most. You become the invitation, not the pursuit. Think about it. When someone clings, constantly seeks reassurance, or needs a relationship to feel okay, the energy shifts. It starts to feel heavy. But when a woman is centered in herself, when her happiness isn't contingent on whether a man texts her back or validates her, that kind of emotional steadiness is rare, and rare is valuable. This doesn't mean you never lean on someone, or that you never feel vulnerable. Emotional independence isn't about isolation, it's about self-trust. It's about knowing you have the tools to handle what life throws at you. And when you invite someone into that space, it's powerful, because then love becomes a choice, not a lifeline. So many women think being emotionally independent will make them seem intimidating. But the truth is, to the right man, it's intoxicating. It tells him, I've got my life, my passions, my dreams, and I'd love to build something with you, but I don't need you to feel whole. That kind of woman doesn't just get attention, she earns respect. And respect is the foundation of lasting desire. Because when a man respects a woman, he listens, he shows up, he invests. Emotional independence doesn't push men away. It challenges them to rise, to bring their full selves, to meet you in the middle. And when they do, that's where real connection begins. When a woman knows where her lines are, and she's not afraid to stand by them, it changes how people see her, especially men. Boundaries aren't walls. They're not cold or controlling. They're a reflection of self-respect. And when a woman demonstrates self-respect, it naturally teaches others how to treat her. She's not putting people in their place. She's already in hers. That's what makes her powerful. Men notice when a woman doesn't tolerate being disrespected, ignored, or breadcrumbed. It speaks volumes without her having to raise her voice. She doesn't chase, beg, or over-explain. If a man starts playing games, she doesn't get pulled in, she steps away. Not as a tactic, but because she simply doesn't accept behavior that doesn't align with how she values herself. That kind of consistency creates a quiet strength that's impossible to ignore. You see, we teach people how to treat us by what we allow. If a woman keeps giving second, third, and 10th chances to someone who keeps crossing her boundaries, she may be acting from kindness, but she's sending the wrong message. Over time, those blurred lines become permission slips for mistreatment. But when a woman is clear, when she can say, "This doesn't work for me," without guilt, everything changes. That moment, right there, is when respect is either built or broken. Boundaries are attractive because they bring clarity. A man doesn't have to guess what she'll put up with. There's no emotional confusion. He knows if he wants to be part of her life, he has to show up with integrity. He has to earn his place. And contrary to what some believe, men rise to that challenge. The right men do. The wrong ones get filtered out fast. But the key here is that boundaries aren't about punishing someone or proving a point. They're about self-protection. A woman with boundaries isn't being distant, she's being deliberate. She values her energy, her time, and her heart. She's not available to everyone because not everyone has earned that access. And when a man does earn it, it means something. It means he's stepped into a space that she doesn't give lightly. People often confuse boundaries with ultimatums, but they're completely different. An ultimatum is about controlling someone else. A boundary is about protecting yourself. It's saying, you're free to do what you want, but I'm also free to walk away if it doesn't align with what I need. That kind of emotional clarity is rare, and rare is irresistible. Men deeply desire women who stand for something, who won't bend just to keep someone around. When a woman can look a man in the eye and say, I like you, but I won't stay if this continues, it creates a moment of truth. And in that truth, attraction either deepens or disappears. Either way, she wins, because she's not bending to be chosen, she's choosing herself first. There's a beautiful balance that the most magnetic women have mastered. They're warm, open, and kind, but they're not always available, and that distinction is everything. When a woman gives her energy freely, but not constantly, it creates a sense of value. It signals that her time is meaningful, her life is full, and her presence is something to be appreciated, not expected. Warmth draws people in. It makes a man feel safe, welcomed, and connected. But when that warmth comes with a constant stream of accessibility, always texting back immediately, always saying yes, always ready to drop everything, it starts to lose its impact. The dynamic shifts. What once felt special starts to feel routine. Not because the woman did anything wrong, but because human nature starts to undervalue what feels endlessly available. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about having a rich enough life that you don't have to be available all the time. Your warmth still exists. You still care. You're still emotionally present, but you're not waiting by the phone, rearranging your plans, or molding yourself to someone else's schedule. That contrast is powerful. It tells a man, I enjoy connecting with you, but I also enjoy my own space. My world doesn't stop for anyone. Men find that incredibly attractive, not because they want to chase, but because they want to earn. A woman who's warm but not over-available creates a sense of anticipation. Every interaction feels intentional. When she responds, when she shows up, when she gives her time, it matters. It's not given from a place of needing attention, it's offered from a place of true desire. And that changes everything. A woman who offers emotional safety doesn't judge. She listens without trying to fix or criticize. She holds space for his vulnerability without using it against him later. Around her, a man feels like he doesn't have to pretend, he doesn't have to perform. That kind of presence is rare, especially in a world where many men feel like they have to constantly be strong, stoic, and in control. When he finds someone who allows him to let go of that pressure, it feels like coming home. But here's where the magic happens, when that same woman also brings a sense of challenge. Not in a combative way, but in a way that invites him to grow. She doesn't let him coast, she doesn't tolerate excuses, she calls out his potential when he's shrinking from it. She doesn't fear disagreeing with him or setting boundaries, and she does it all while still being loving, calm, and grounded. This balance is incredibly powerful. Without emotional safety, challenge feels threatening, but without challenge, emotional safety turns into complacency. What men deeply crave is that dynamic where they feel seen for who they are, accepted where they are, but still motivated to become better. A woman who can say, I love you as you are, but I also see who you could be, creates a space where a man wants to evolve, not out of fear, but out of inspiration. That's the kind of connection that awakens something deeper. It's not about being agreeable all the time. It's about having enough strength and confidence to be honest, even when it's uncomfortable. It's about being able to say, I care about you, and that's why I won't enable behavior that doesn't serve you, or us. That kind of woman doesn't just support him, she challenges him in the best way possible. And men remember that. They remember the woman who called them out gently but firmly, the woman who didn't make them feel small, but also didn't let them play small. The woman who made them feel safe to be vulnerable while still expecting greatness. That balance is rare. It takes emotional intelligence, maturity, and courage. A woman who leads with love but isn't afraid to challenge creates a connection that's both secure and exciting. He feels like he's growing with her, not just surviving beside her. And in that space where he can be real, loved, and stretched, that's where his deepest attachment forms, not just to her body, to her being. There is a quiet power in a woman who owns her standards without guilt. She doesn't feel the need to downplay what she wants in a relationship. She doesn't apologize for expecting consistency, respect, depth, and commitment. Her standards are not demands, they're reflections of her self-worth. And when she stands by them with calm confidence, without needing to justify or defend them, she instantly separates herself from the crowd. Many women have been conditioned to believe that having high standards makes them too much or too picky. So they lower the bar, compromise on non-negotiables, or silence their instincts just to keep someone interested. But what actually attracts the right kind of man isn't someone who bends to fit in. It's someone who stands in what she believes, even if it means standing alone for a while. Owning your standards doesn't mean being rigid or closed off. It means knowing the difference between flexibility and self-abandonment. It's the ability to say, this is what I need to feel safe, seen, and valued, and I won't settle for less, without flinching. And that energy, that self-possession, creates gravity. It draws in people who are ready to meet you there, and it naturally filters out those who aren't. Men respect women who don't compromise their values to be liked. Not because they want to be controlled or challenged, but because they recognize the strength it takes to honor yourself in a world that constantly tells you to shrink. A woman with standards doesn't play games. She creates clarity. She communicates her needs early. She speaks up when something feels off, and she walks away when her boundaries are violated. That kind of woman is unforgettable. Because she doesn't make love transactional. She doesn't earn attention by proving she's low maintenance. She understands that the right connection doesn't require her to be less. It requires her to show up fully and trust that the right person will rise to meet her. And that's exactly what the right man will do. He won't be turned off by her standards. He'll be inspired by them. The key is to release the guilt, to stop apologizing for wanting more honesty, more effort, more depth, more presence. Wanting more doesn't make you demanding. It makes you intentional. And intention is powerful. It saves time. It builds trust. It sets the tone. And it tells the world that you are no longer in the business of tolerating the bare minimum. When a woman owns her standards with grace, not guilt, she becomes the gatekeeper of her own energy. She no longer entertains people who drain her. She doesn't argue with someone about why she deserves respect. She simply moves on. And that movement is what keeps her aligned with her value. Because in choosing her standards, she's also choosing herself. And nothing is more attractive than a woman who's already chosen herself, fully, fiercely, and without apology. ChatGPT said, "There's something undeniably captivating about a woman who knows how to be playful and light, yet carries emotional depth beneath the surface. It's the kind of contrast that keeps a man intrigued, not just in the beginning, but over time. She can make him laugh, tease him in the best ways, and bring levity into his life. But she's not all sparkle and charm, she's grounded. She feels things, she gets him. And that's what makes her unforgettable. Playfulness isn't about being silly or immature. It's about being emotionally free, unafraid to be spontaneous, to flirt, to lean into the moment without overthinking it. It's the way she gives him a sideways smile after making a sarcastic remark. It's the way she turns a serious moment into something fun, not because she avoids depth, but because she knows when to let things breathe. This kind of energy is refreshing. It makes her feel like a breath of fresh air in a world that can be overly serious or emotionally heavy. But what makes her truly magnetic is that she doesn't live only in that playful space. She also knows how to go deep. She knows how to hold a real conversation, how to sit in silence without needing to fill it, how to talk about things that matter. She's not afraid of emotional intimacy. In fact, she invites it, not with pressure, but with presence. And when a man experiences that contrast, the ability to joke with her one moment and open up to her the next, it creates a bond that goes far beyond physical attraction. Many people lean too far in one direction. Some live in constant emotional seriousness, which can feel heavy and exhausting. Others keep things light all the time, afraid to show their deeper feelings in case it pushes someone away. But when a woman can move between those two spaces, when she can read the room, read him, and shift effortlessly between laughter and real connection, she becomes the kind of person he never wants to lose. This combination also builds incredible emotional safety. Her playfulness puts him at ease. It reminds him that love doesn't have to be hard all the time. And her depth shows him that she's not just here for the highs. She can hold space for the lows too. She doesn't make fun of his feelings or dismiss his struggles. She listens, she asks questions, she sees the parts of him most people overlook. That balance makes him feel both free and understood. And the truth is, men crave this duality. They want someone who brings joy, who keeps things exciting, who can turn an ordinary day into something worth remembering. But they also want someone who feels, who can go beyond surface-level connection. When a woman shows that she can do both, she becomes the rare kind of partner who's not just fun to be around, but impossible to forget. Because she makes life lighter, but love deeper. And that's a combination no man wants to let go of. There's a powerful difference between chasing someone and choosing someone. One comes from fear, the other from confidence. A woman who chooses doesn't try to prove her worth. She doesn't overextend herself to gain attention or affection. She observes, she evaluates, she takes her time. And when she decides someone is worth her energy, it's a conscious decision, not a desperate pursuit. This woman understands that real connection isn't built by chasing people down and convincing them to stay. It's built when two people show up willingly, consistently, and mutually. She's not impressed by charm alone. She's not swayed by hot and cold behavior or sweet talk with no action. She watches how a man shows up over time. She doesn't give the best parts of herself to someone who only shows up part-time. A woman who chooses is in her power. She knows her value and doesn't second-guess it when someone doesn't recognize it. She doesn't take silence or distance as a cue to try harder. She takes it as information. If someone is unclear or inconsistent, she doesn't chase clarity. She creates it by stepping away. Her peace matters more than her pride. She would rather be alone than beg to be chosen. Men feel this energy. They may not be able to name it, but they sense it. It's the way she carries herself, the way she responds when plans fall through or texts go unanswered. She doesn't spiral, she adjusts. She's not cold or closed off. She's simply self-respecting. She's not playing games. She just refuses to participate in ones that diminish her dignity. When a woman stops chasing, her energy changes. She becomes magnetic because she's no longer trying to be what someone else wants. She's just being herself, and that self is full, focused, and whole. Her life doesn't revolve around whether someone likes her. It revolves around what she values, what she enjoys, and who truly adds to that experience. When she meets a man who aligns with that, it's not about proving or performing, it's about choosing. Choosing means she's engaged, curious, and open, but not desperate. It means she's willing to explore a connection, but she's not attached to a specific outcome. If things flow, great. If they don't, she lets go with grace. And that sense of emotional detachment, not in a cold way, but in a self-trusting way, is what keeps her attractive, grounded, and in control. She doesn't sit around hoping someone sees her worth. She lives in it. And because of that, the right man doesn't feel like she's trying to win him. He feels like he's been invited into something special. That's the woman men don't forget. Not because she chased them, but because she chose them, confidently, clearly, and with standards that didn't shake. So, what do men deeply desire in a woman? It's not perfection. It's not someone who gives endlessly or plays small to be accepted. It's a woman who knows her worth, owns her standards without apology, and lives with intention. A woman who brings warmth without losing herself, who can laugh and play but also connect on a deeper level, who offers love as a gift, not as a bargain. She doesn't chase affection, she chooses wisely. She doesn't fear saying no, she trusts her instincts. And above all, she's grounded in purpose, fueled by passion, and anchored in self-respect. That kind of woman doesn't just attract attention, she creates lasting impact, because when a man meets her, he feels something different. He's not just excited, he's inspired. He doesn't just want her, he wants to rise for her. And not because she asked him to, but because she showed him how.